What I'm going to talk about today is the retro king of anabolic oral steroids. An oral steroid that has such high accolade that it has a CV full of Olympia champions that spans decades, from the likes of Larry Scott, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie Coleman. An oral steroid that needs no introduction, because you all know what I'm talking about. Dianabol. It may be old, but it's still gold. Dianabol basically is a no-frills anabolic steroid that just fucking works. What can you expect from Dianabol? So Dianabol, obviously being an oral, has a very fast onset time, so you'll almost notice the effects within fucking days of using it. What Dianabol's really good for? One, it's phenomenal for increasing your strength, and I mean pretty much right out the gate. Two, it's phenomenal for muscle fullness, so all the time you're looking almost exaggeratedly pumped up. And number three, it's fucking great at putting on size. Dianabol in the 90s, when I was bodybuilding, and the early 2000s, was almost your bread and butter basic cycle. And man, I miss those days. You guys watching this from the 90s, you guys watching this from the early 2000s, I'm gonna drop two little names in front of you. Dianabol, Blue Hearts. British Dragon, Dianabol. Fucking hell, those were the days. We're talking some of the best Dianabol that you could get a hold of. And like I say to you, that would be the standard cycle for most guys building their bodies. Most of the Olympia champions that you look at through the 90s, right? Top bodybuilders through the 90s, through the 80s, through the 70s were using Dianabol. Dianabol came into the steroid scene around the 1950s, right? And it's been going strong since then. There's a good reason for it, because the fucking thing actually works. So let's talk about where you would typically use Dianabol. Dianabol is typically used and is phenomenal to be used during an off season, or I would say at the start of a contest prep, when you're still trying to hold a lot of size and you're just getting started, right? Because where it really comes into its own, when you're designing a cycle, you must understand, like, these are like tools. Where is Dianabol as a tool best utilized? And I honestly would say 95% of the time during an off season, because again, it's gonna make you stronger, it's gonna make you bigger, it's gonna make you fuller. You feel fucking like an absolute powerhouse walking around on Dianabol. Now, Dianabol doesn't come without side effects. One of the worst side effects of Dianabol is the fucking water retention you get. Have you heard of moon face? You could always tell when someone's taking Dianabol because their face is bloated, right? So if you're somebody that is naturally estrogenic, you're somebody that's naturally endomorphic, you're somebody that naturally retains water, you're gonna have to be very mindful when using Dianabol, because it could overly bloat you to where not only the muscles are full, but you got like a puffy face, puffy hands, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, Dianabol, if you're prone to gyno, can absolutely exaggerate it. So you must be on top of your estrogen levels. In terms of toxicity, absolutely Dianabol is a toxic compound, right? That's why some people really struggle with appetite when they use Dianabol. It's incredibly suppressive. So yes, just like all the other anabolic steroids, it certainly will hit your kidneys and your liver. So you need to do your due diligence, right, by getting blood work and navigating through that with the right supplementation. In terms of duration, typically Dianabol you'd want to use for maybe between 4 and 6 weeks max, and it's typically used intermittently through an off season. And when you come off the oral, typically what bodybuilders will do, will cycle it out for another compound. So Dianabol is a king of oral steroids, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's ever going to lose that moniker. I mean, I was reading the other day that Dianabol to this day is actually the most commonly used anabolic steroid that there is. So if you're looking to get stronger, if you're looking to pack on size, if you're looking to walk around full and pumped up, Dianabol is absolutely an oral that can do that job and more. Now, yes, in the modern era, there might be more sexier orals that can do that job, but how can we insult the king like that, man? Keep Dianabol at the top, because it certainly is one of the best performing oral steroids that there is. How can we argue with Dianabol when it's created so many champions?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's the good old days, Dianabol.
They're good old days, isn't it? Walking around puffy hands.